with because there's a very special thing. It's called the pre-thinking. I don't know if anyone has taken the e-GMAT preparation before they know what it is, but for those who don't know, pre-thinking is some kind of pixie dust which helps you hover through the verbal part so smoothly. Because I'll tell you, uh, when I'm reading a RC or I'm solving a CR, this pre-thinking approach helps me understand what is going to come next. Or in the case of CR, I am able to predict what kind of answer is going to come. So, see, practice is needed, but this pre-thinking approach prepares you for what is going to come next. In fact, in the beginning, there's a master comprehension that helps us
Correct.
understand the sentences so well. And I felt like, where has this knowledge been all my life? Why weren't we taught this in the childhood?
Yeah.
They were teaching us subject and verb and object, but they never taught us that how this thing interacts with each other. I did not use the data uh, data part, but I made the error log. So
Okay.
making the error log helped me see my problems because
Mm.
when I was practicing, when I was doing GMAT on my own, I never even imagined that I could make a space where I can list down all the questions and understand why I made a mistake in that. An
Mm.
error log, suddenly it brought all my errors in front of me and I could see a pattern and I could
Mm.
work on that and I could make it better. So if not the data part on the portal, you could always go with the error log. And this is highly encouraged by the e-GMAT mentors. And yeah, we should listen to them.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another debrief session with me. Today, I'm thrilled to have Piyush with me. Piyush recently scored a fantastic 675, and his 675 consists of a Q88, a V83, and a DI79. But what makes his journey worth inspiring others is that he started at a score of a 555 on his diagnostic mock. So he's come a long way. A 120-point improvement is no cakewalk. And I'm sure Piyush would vouch for that. To give you a little understanding about about his sectional improvement, his verbal score improved by 10 points from a V73 to a V83. His quant improved from a Q84 to a Q88, and his data insights improved from a DI75 to a DI79. So Piyush is here happily and really willfully to share his journey with all of us. The motive behind him doing this is to make sure that his journey helps and motivates as many GMAT aspirants out there. Like watching a lot of such interviews helped him stay put and stay up in his GMAT preparations. So Piyush is here. Thank you so much, Piyush, for being here. It's a pleasure to have you here. How are you?
Dhruv, it's my pleasure that you've invited me for this interview. Thank you for having me here, and I'll help telling my experiences so that it can come through and help a lot of people in their journey. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is exactly why you're here. And your journey is actually a very good story, right? Because your initial journey went from a 555 to a 655. There was a little break there, and then you came back with just 10, 12 days approximately left for another attempt. And within those 10, 12 days, you took a
Mm.
leap of 20 points, which is a fantastic achievement. So this little discussion about your journey is going to be really fruitful for all the GMAT aspirants who are watching this interview right now. So let's dive into it.
Sure, we can start.
Absolutely. So let us start with Quant, right?
All right.
You were starting at a Q84, which is a very good platform to have to improve your abilities from,
Mm.
right? And when you started with the quant preparation, I saw that you leveraged the pace engine that we at e-GMAT have to the fullest. You saved around 32 to 33 hours of your time using the PACE recommendations. So what were your early, what was your early experience with the PACE engine, and how did that help you save so much of prep time, and how helpful was saving so much time?
I think before answering about the pace, I should tell you that I've always been good with quant, and quant calculations come naturally to me. So when I started thinking about what I should do, what I should not do, and how I continue with my journey in e-GMAT portal, when I came across this pace thing, it actually saved a lot of time for me because I didn't have to rigorously go through everything again, waste my time, and be bored. And once I get bored in that module or in a section, I don't wish like continuing, and it becomes a break. A break comes in between. So that is where it helps a lot. Secondly, the diagnostic quiz, which is there in the beginning, that helps me understand what all kind of questions are there. It's a very comprehensive quiz. And then at the end, when I gave the final GMAT preparation questions, that ensured that I know the topic full and full, and that help me better understand that I know these topics. I don't have to get to it. But if there were any problems, if I was lacking any concept or knowledge in any section, I could every time go back and learn more about it.
Correct, correct. So if I can, I'll just share my screen and uh, show it to all the viewers. So when I talk about, let's say, I think WP, where you saved a lot of time. Correct. Look, a 34-hour long course took you just 20 and a half hours, right? You saved around 13 and a half hours because you probably were really strong at WP, right? And now that we're talking about WP, let us also understand what was it that made you good at it. Why? Because when I look at a lot of students and their journeys, most people feel stuck at WP because WP has those lengthy questions, a lot of information to digest. What was your specific strategy to deal with such lengthy questions?
Hmm. Uh, the only thing that I do for word problems is I break down the question. I break down the verbal part and bring it to numbers only. I make equations and then I look at the equations and I solve ahead. That helps me. I do nothing else in that. So I think that is the key to going forward with WPs.
Right. I think what you're talking about is translating the
Yeah.
question from its verbal part to the numerical language. Perfect, perfect. Yeah, that
Yes.
that is actually that is something that holds the key for WP. Right. So we usually get a lot of feedback that uh, Quant Scholarinium has a lot of challenging questions, right?
Hmm.
And which we as e-GMAT are really proud of because the difficulty level of the test also is going pretty high. And I'm
Hmm.
sure you recently took the test and you would vouch for it again. So, what role do you think did e-GMAT's Quant Scholarinium play in your improvement? Because you were already good at quant,
Hmm.
but 84 is decent. But to get to a better score, you need at least an 88,
Hmm.
right? So, what was it in the Quant Scholarinium that you leveraged that helped you improve from a Q84 to a Q88 in the final test?
I think you answered it already. It's the difficulty that is there because uh, the last time when I felt that the exam is very smooth, it's easy, and I was able to go through. In fact, in my last GMAT attempt, I scored a quant 90. I did not get anything wrong. But the next time when I took it, I felt that the questions were a bit more difficult. They were challenging. But to talk about the difficulty we face during the practice, I think when we face difficult questions, it helps us brush all our concepts really well. Because when we do easy questions, sometimes we get them just by calculating or by thinking about the probabilities of the answer. But when we work on difficult questions, it helps us sort everything in your mind that how is this answer coming? How am I getting to this? So that is why a difficult question is important. It is very important to sit in a test environment which the Scholaranium gives us, and that helps us understand what is going to happen in the actual GMAT. So pretty helpful.
Right, right. Uh, did you also use a lot of data analytics that we have on the portal that usually helps you understand what your weaker areas are and what the lingering gaps are?
I did not use the data uh, data part, but I made the error log. So
Okay.
making the error log helped me see my problems because
Mm,
when I was practicing, when I was doing GMAT on my own, I never even imagined that I could make a space where I can list down all the questions and understand why I made a mistake in that. An
mm,
error log, suddenly it brought all my errors in front of me and I could see a pattern and I could
mm.
work on that and I could make it better. So if not the data part on the portal, you could always go with the error log. And this is highly motivated, highly encouraged by the e-GMAT mentors. And yeah, we should listen to them.
Okay. For all the people who, again, a very common question that a lot of students ask is, what should be the error log content? So if you just want to briefly explain what kind of columns students should create in the error log, or what kind of things should they look for while creating an error log?
Actually, Dhruv, we don't have to think about what we have to put in there or not because all the columns are there.
Right.
We can download it from the
Portal
summary
itself.
section, yeah, in the portal only.
Right.
And then we just have to put all our mistakes. Anything red should come in
Mm,
the error log.
right.
Also, if you think that you did an answer, you got it by fluke, or you think that you could work more on that question, you also
Mm,
put it there because that helps you understand your weaknesses. And
right.
GMAT is all about practicing what you're doing wrong because what you're doing right, you know that. But what
Right.
you don't know, you have to work on that.
Correct. Correct. So I'm just going to share my screen to show everybody how you did well on the cementing quizzes, right? Because now this line is going to be a little common kind of a statement that I use when I speak about quant scholarship, because I always say if something doesn't kill you, it only makes you stronger, right? And for people who really want to do well on quant, it is important to practice on challenging questions because the test is getting difficult day by day, right? And this is your quant cementing quizzes for number properties. Although you started at a 70%, you did score 80 and 90% on hard questions in the next few quizzes. I believe you did well on, I think, algebra as well. Just a second. Yes. So look, this is the journey, right? Starting at 40% in algebra hard questions to scoring an 80 and a 60, 70% kind of an accuracy. That speaks volumes about your diligence and how well you were incorporating the feedback and the learnings from the course to the quizzes, right? So this is a testament to your diligence and the efforts that you are putting in, right? And you scored a Q90 also in your first attempt, where you scored a 655. How was that experience? How difficult were those questions, and how did you go about the time management there?
First of all, I'd like to say that before that exam, I was well rested. I did a lot of meditation before attempting that exam, and I was very calm when I went there. But what is more important is I never felt that anything difficult came my way. I was solving questions. I could save a good 10 minutes after solving all the questions in quant. And I looked at all the questions and I saw that there's nothing to change. Everything is perfect. And
Mm,
then when there were 2 or 3 minutes remaining, I moved on to the next part of the GMAT. That is, I took a 10-minute rest and then I went for
mm,
verbal. So during that day, it was very smooth. Everything was smooth for me. But
yeah.
one mistake that I made was I still regret it. In the verbal section, At the end, there were only 30 seconds remaining for the last question. And I thought that I should mark a question, mark the answer, and then I should read and maybe find the right answer. I didn't know that I have to press the next button to record that answer. And then the
Mm.
30 seconds were over and the answer didn't get recorded. And I only scored a 25 percentile in verbal, despite making only six mistakes in all. So
Mm.
I don't know how the mistakes and the scoring system works, but 25 percentile is what not I was expecting. So it should have been
Absolutely.
a lot more. So I think there is heavy penalty for not answering a question. So
Mm.
please select an answer and then you get a window to recorrect anything that you made wrong. So
Right.
you can go there and do that. Please do not skip any question. Do not leave any question unattended. So yeah.
Right. So this time when you scored a Q88, do you
Mm.
think was it because this time you faced some difficult questions, or why do you think you lost those 2 points this time?
Um, Again, see, I was well prepared. I could have got a Q90 again, but since the test is not in my city, I had to travel to Kolkata. I'm from Siliguri. I had to travel to Kolkata to give the test. I was staying with my uncle, and then the train journey, and I couldn't sleep very well, due to which I was not feeling well.
Mm.
I was well, but I was feeling a bit laggy. And
Yeah.
then I felt that the questions were also difficult. In fact, in the third question, I don't remember what the question was, but I took a good 5 minutes to solve that question and I got that
Mm.
wrong also. I even marked it because I felt that I'm not getting it correct. After completing the
Right.
test, I again had 5 minutes left and then I came back and I couldn't solve it again. So uh, I think the test is getting a little difficult because I never expected a very difficult question in the uh, third question itself.
Mm.
Secondly, please rest well. Do not do anything on the previous day. In fact, book a test according to your convenience where you can sleep at least 8 or 9 hours and then go for the test because being rested well is very important for
Mm.
your mind, for your brain to function really well.
Right. That's true. That's true. Now that you just had mentioned about your verbal and the experience by not clicking the next button, let us
Mm,
dive into your verbal journey.
yeah.
Right? 10-point improvement there.
Mm,
What were some initial challenges being a non-native speaker of English, right?
mm,
Uh, when you were starting at a V73,
mm.
right? I'm sure there were a lot of gaps. What gaps had you identified before you started your journey?
Verbal doesn't come to me easily, especially the RCs. I'm sure it's the same case with most of
Yeah,
the GMAT takers in India,
correct.
especially. But I should talk about the strategies that e-GMAT helped me so that I can uh, overcome all those problems. I have songs to sing about the verbal preparation that e-GMAT helps us with because there's a very special thing. It's called the pre-thinking. I don't know if anyone has taken the e-GMAT preparation before they know what it is, but for those who don't know, pre-thinking is some kind of pixie dust which helps you hover through the verbal part so smoothly because I'll tell you, uh, when I'm reading a RC or I'm solving a CR, this pre-thinking approach helps me understand what is going to come next. Or in the case of CR, I am able to predict what kind of answer is going to come. So, see, practice is needed, but this pre-thinking approach prepares you for what is going to come next. So, even if you don't really understand what is going to come next, your mind is prepared. It's curious that, अच्छा, मैं ये सोच रहा हूँ, क्या आता है? Let me see. So that keeps you engaged in the RC or the CR, whatever you're doing. So I think that if you want to improve your verbal, just to improve your verbal, it's totally worth it to come to e-GMAT. I tell this to my friends. I encourage them to take the GMAT also. That you take the e-GMAT portal access, you learn from there, and then you take the GMAT. Not only does it help me with the GMAT, but I also gave other competitive exams. It helped me in my CAT. It helped me in my NMAT yesterday, and I did pretty well. in both of them. So really, kudos to the team that prepared the format and all the approaches and whatever is there. I
Mhm.
really loved it. I vouch for it.
Right, because and what you just spoke about pre-thinking, it was so passionate that I really want to share my screen and show everybody how well you tried to genuinely internalize the pre-thinking approach. Right, this is your heart cementing performance. Initially, of course, you did not do well, but you slowly were learning and you did get better. So you were literally starting at what, 30%
Mm,
in hard questions, and then the accuracy went up in the relaxed mode to around 70%. And then, of course, when standard time came in, there was a bit of time crunch. That was a different journey for you again. Again, your score went down to 20%, and this time again you came back. So this little picture on the screen testifies you as a test taker and how mentally strong you were in this journey and what kind of a faith you put in the pre-thinking process, because it would have been very easy for you to give up after scoring a 20% after 3 attempts. But you knew that something was right. All you had to do was internalize. So you went from a 20% to a 70% on a hard question in CR, and all you what you just explained uh, testified by this what I'm showing right now. So kudos
mm.
to you on that. What about RC?
Dhruv,
You mentioned RC.
Dhruv, before that, one thing. I'm not very mentally strong. I'm just another normal guy out there. Uh,
Okay,
Everything just fell in the right place for me. I never asked anybody that what coaching I should take or what I should not take. I went on YouTube, I looked at some reviews, and I thought that it's okay, let me go with this. All of them look the same to me. So whatever was there, the portal, the teachers, they helped me. Secondly, I just I just had the confidence that when I go on the test day, I'll make it anyhow. I just had that confidence. I was not getting everything right. I was not getting a very good score in my mocks or the screen that you just saw. It's not very impressive. So one thing just I'd like to tell everybody that trust your teachers, trust the process, and trust yourself. This trust game changes everything. Really, it changes everything. So yeah, go with
right.
trust and confidence. You will make a difference.
This is exactly what is to call somebody mentally strong. That is nothing but to just believe in yourself. That is it. I
Yeah.
remember our conversations in the last 10 days
Mm,
where honestly I was nervous. Right, and you know that. Right? I did tell you, is it possible for us to just push by a week?
mm,
But you kept on insisting that no, I think this is something that I can manage. I remember us having a chat just a couple of days before your test also, where you
mm,
did not do well on the mock, and you still insisted taking the test was something that you wanted to do.
mm,
So, and why am I emphasizing on this, Piyush? Is because I've seen a lot of people who do extremely well on the entire journey,
mm,
but they somewhere lack in the mental conditioning that proves to be costly on the test day, right?
mm.
So, believing in yourself, I think wins you half the battle, right?
Yeah, that's
And
true.
and that is something that I'm trying to highlight from not only your entire journey, but from
Mm,
this CR cementing journey also. There
mm,
were downfalls after highs, but how did it end? It ended with a high, and
mm.
that was only possible because you were always willing to learn, go back to the drawing board, find how you can improve, and come back. So, which stories are good? The ones which have a lot of comebacks,
That's
right?
true.
Those are worth getting inspired from. So that is something that you certainly have. So now that we you were talking about RC, uh,
Mm.
what did you do to improve your RC abilities?
Honestly, I did not practice a lot. I just, whenever I sit for a mock or any sectional test, I used to revise everything that was taught to us. everything was taught that in the RC there are different type of questions that come, inference, and I'm unable to recall all others. I've
Boldface,
so yeah,
assumptions.
boldface in the RC.
Oh, in the
So
RC,
yeah,
main point,
yeah, the main point
right?
questions, the
Hmm.
structure questions, etc.
Right.
So I used to revise them. I used to uh, remember what was taught, that pre-think at this point, at this point. In fact, in the beginning, there's a master comprehension that helps us
Correct.
understand the sentences so well. And I felt like, where has this knowledge been all my life? Why weren't we taught this in the childhood?
Yeah.
They were teaching us subject and verb and object, but they never taught us that how this thing interacts with each other. So the RC, I never did a lot of practice, but I revised them. I went to try the RCs and I did not get everything correct. I did not perform very well, but then I was understanding what mistakes I was making. So that was the important part, because not only did the pre-thinking approach help me, but the error log. Because whenever I went back and looked at all my mistakes, I understood that there are specific points, only some specific points where I'm making mistakes. So I was able to cure that, and I did well. Not so well, but yeah, well in the final test.
You mentioned error log twice or thrice already so far.
Hmm.
Makes me say something that error log is such an underrated tool, isn't it?
It's true, 100%. It's magic. Again, it's like pixie dust.
Okay. All right. Let us discuss about your DI journey. So what were your initial challenges there in data insights?
Okay, DI questions in DI of GMAT DI questions were something I had never looked at. I never thought that there can be two-part analysis questions or table analysis and multi-source reasoning. And the first time when I took a mock, and I felt that this is something that needs a lot of practice. But then after going through with the journey, after practicing quant, after practicing verbal, I did not have to worry a lot about DI, because 50 or 60% of my preparation was done. I just had to understand the structures. I had to understand how to answer them, and then I was able to make it. So I don't think that we have to worry a lot about the DI, because the e-GMAT makes sure that we understand everything from our quant and our verbal learnings, and we are able to apply it over there. That's it.
Correct. The reason why your insights on data insights are so important is because right now maybe people are looking at a DI 79, but to just give them some context, in Piyush's first attempt where he scored a 655, he had a DI 84, right? For some unfortunate reasons, of course, there's a dip this time, but he has been there, right? So Piyush, anything different that happened this time from the previous
Again,
attempt?
I was not very well rested, and
Okay, that's it.
that's the only reason. By the end, I felt the fatigue, I
Hmm,
felt the exhaustion, and that was
correct.
why yeah. In fact, I did not have a lot of time also left. I had 4 or 5 questions left in the end. I just
Hmm,
marked anything and I just completed the test, because I knew
yeah.
that if I miss, I will have more penalty.
The next button,
Yeah.
right? True, true. Okay. Piyush, a normal question that a lot of people have with regards to data insights is time management, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
That is a major issue people face when it comes to data insights. What would be your advice to people on maybe some tips on how to manage time well on data insights?
See, I did not get a very good score there, so I should not speak volumes about it, but I know that how I could have made it better this time. I did not practice a lot. This time I only went with verbal and quant. I thought that my verbal is going bad, so I should focus all my energies there. So I could make a difference in the verbal, which helped me improve my score. But then
Hmm,
again, I got a dip in the quant as well as the DI section.
hmm,
So I think that practice is very important. Practicing the difficult questions, practicing as much as you can, and understanding every type of questions from the grassroots level is very important, because in the test day You need to be prepared. You need to be prepared for the questions and not for the type of question. And it should never feel like ye kya aa gaya. You should know that okay, it is there. Maybe the wording is difficult, the questions are difficult, the calculations are
mm,
difficult, but you will be able to do it. And to manage time, I think it's not very difficult. When you practice, you become faster. You understand that dynamics, the time dynamic that works in these questions. So I think practice is the key for DI, nothing else.
mm. Okay, fair enough. Let us discuss about your mock journey, right? Uh, I'm of course the last few days were really hectic because we had very less time, and the mocks were not completely going your way,
Hmm.
right? What were you doing after taking a mock so that you knew that you were taking the corrective actions and moving in the right direction? Although the mock score doesn't state so, but when you take corrective actions, you know whether you're on the right path or not. What do you think are the steps to be taken after a particular mock attempt if one is expecting to see some improvement in the next mock?
All right. My advice goes against the conventional advices that people give, or the better people who have gotten better scores. They don't recommend this, but I feel that after we take a mock, we should take a good long break. We should do anything apart from GMAT, anything else
Mhm.
apart from academics, leave academics. You go, you play on your PS5, you go play basketball, you sit with your parents, your grandparents, do anything else, watch TV. Don't think about the GMAT. Then you come back after 5 or 6 hours, or maybe the next day. And then when your mind is fresh, when you, especially after you wake up in the morning, you sit and understand what mistakes you were making. So, although I was not able to perform very good in mocks, I was able to take the reviews, I was able to gain insights about my mistakes, and they
Mm,
were getting fed inside my brain. I was understanding that these are some mistakes that I'm making and I don't have to make them again. Although I wasn't able to show them in the mocks, I think I showed it in my final attempt
fine.
because taking a mock and then understanding your mistakes after a good break uh, helps you understand deeply that this is the place you are making a mistake. For example, in quant, in uh, some sections were very easy, but in the test scenario, those questions you tend to mess up.
Mm,
So for me, if a question is easy, it is not necessary that I'll do it correctly in the mock scenario. So
mm.
take mocks, relax, revisit the mocks, and then maybe take a mock later another day. So by saying this, I should also point this out that before you start your mock journey, everything else should be complete. You should be prepared with every material. You should
Mm.
know everything. Only then come to this mock journey because only then will you be able to make improvements.
Correct, correct. Thank you for that. Uh, so I now that you mentioned that you had to go to Kolkata to take your test,
Mm,
a lot of traveling, I'm sure.
mm.
Uh, so how was your test day experience
Um,
overall?
I generally tend to reach every place very late. So my parents, they kept on calling me that times of Manjana, times of Manjana. And they used to call my uncle and my daddy over there ki, tell him to be on time.
Leo earlier.
So yeah, so that is one thing, and I made sure that I reached on time. Second is, I think that some of my friends they told me that it's very good to meditate before the test because it helps your brain calm down. And
Mm,
honestly, after those meditation sessions, uh, there was nothing inside my brain. I was singing a song, and it was like a earworm for me. Wasn't able to get it out. But after that small meditation session, my brain was empty. It was really empty. And when I sat to give the test, uh, the answers came from within. So basically, the test day journey, the first day was perfect. The first time when I took the test, the second time I did not get very good sleep. I did the meditation, but then sleep is sleep. So the second day was a little wobbly for me. So really, I request everybody to be very well rested before you take the exam. That's just what I want to say. Yeah.
Fantastic. Piyush, I think we've decoded almost every aspect of your journey. Right. It's finally done, and I'm sure you are now going to focus on our applications. So
Yes.
I, on behalf of the entire e-GMAT team, would love to wish you the best and
Thank you.
for the next steps. And I would also like to mention that we are really proud of you. We are really proud of the journey that you set out on, the distance you covered, 120-point improvement. You deserve all the credit and all the applause. So kudos to you. Please stay in touch. Let us know uh,
Sure.
what happens with your applications because we'll be here cheering for you from far away, but always in your thoughts.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dhruv. It was really a privilege to come across e-GMAT, working with them, and then working with you for the last few days. It really helped me going, and I was motivated all throughout. I had the confidence, and it is all because of e-GMAT. Really, thank you so much.
That's really sweet of you. Thank you so much, Piyush, and we'll see you soon.
Sure. Bye bye.
Bye.